justice or vengeance, equity or equality, vindication or validation. From the sentencing of Derek Chauvin to the battle over critical race theory, it is clear that when it comes to the issue of race, America is at a critical crossroads. Do we truly want justice under the law for every American? Or do we seek vengeance in the names of those who did not receive the full benefit of America's promise? This is the internal struggle playing out before our very eyes in cities all across this nation right now. From New York to California, police departments have been on high alert, bracing for the reality that even though Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison, for some people here in America, it just won't be enough. In fact, increasingly, those who claim to seek a world not defined by racial animus seem to be routinely insisting that every single issue in our society be viewed through the prism of skin color. And no matter the pains we take to raise our children with compassion, to deal with our neighbors with respect, there is nothing, it seems, we can ever do that they will deem sufficient. Now, the preamble to our U.S. Constitution starts with the phrase, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice." That's the first sentence, folks. Because without justice, we have nothing. Without justice, there can be no liberty. Without justice, there can be no peace. Without justice, there can be no country. And vengeance, validation, equity, none of these fancy words have anything to do with justice because they call for us to elevate the needs of some over others. And there is nothing more un-American than that. Now, to be clear, America has had some not-so-shining moments on race. We've had slavery on our watch. And perhaps more egregious than the institution of slavery itself was the collective apathy that allowed the views proliferated in an age of human bondage to linger and bleed into our more perfect union. But in our effort to learn the lessons of history, we should not build a world where our mistakes define our future. A world where we are no longer informed by our past, but rather held hostage by it. Now, it's very easy to cherry-pick quotes from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when you're seeking to build a vengeful world, to say out of context that riots are the language of the unheard. But in all my life, I have never seen a picture of Martin Luther King Jr. hurling a brick. And I have read the mission statement for his organization, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, from pillar to post. And the phrase Molotov cocktail is nowhere to be found. You see, understanding righteous anger that is contained in the human spirit is not the same as condoning the violence it sometimes inspires. And so the question for us is clear. Do we seek a just world or not? Do we seek equality for every American? Or do we seek a world where those who feel as if their American dreams have been deferred now choose to visit that pain and suffering on their neighbors out of retribution? Will we continue to follow the arc of the universe around the bend towards justice, or will we give in to these same lesser angels we find ourselves currently fleeing today and affirm vengeance as our new organizing ideology? Only time will tell. But the outcome is surely up to us. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. It's time to make those words ring true again for all of us.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.